must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you very much for joining Punchline Africa Television. This is Dr. David Matanga from the mobile unit of Punchline Africa Television, miles and miles away from the general headquarters in Nairobi. Good afternoon. This show is Unfiltered show, the show that brings to us what is happening behind the headlines that are making headlines in Africa. Thank you very much. With me to conduct this operation is none other than Miriam. You can see her in the studio live, Punchline Africa. The only television station in Africa that talks about Africa, what ails Africa? What kills Africa, Miriam? Unfiltered show. Watch it one. Let's start the Unfiltered show. Good afternoon, Miriam.
A very good afternoon to you, Doctor, there at the Command Center mobile unit.
I am not seeing.
Oh, okay, as you work on that, we have some stories that are trending in Africa this afternoon, and I think it's important we look at what is happening there in Nigeria, in the hashtag End Sars protest that now has resulted even to police killing other protesters there. The protesters are protesting about police brutality, arbitrary arrest, and the killings, and they still end up killing the protesters who are protesting against some of these things. So it's quite interesting there. So we shall look at that, and also we shall bring us up to date with what is happening there in Guinea, and then we shall look at that visit of ICC Chief Prosecutor Bensouda, who made a visit there in Sudan. So we have a lot to talk about, but first, I think the protest...
We have, first of all, to look at Kenya, the BBI. Can you bring it on, please? Let's begin with home all the time. Otherwise, we shall be accused of not being home, but yet we are home. The BBI, unveiling of the BBI. Raila tells Ruto, why don't you give them a helicopter? Why do you give them wheelbarrows? Why? Just bring in that caption. Raila says, don't worry. Buy them helicopter. Thank you very much, viewers. Buy them helicopter. Bring it on. Is it ready?
Not yet. They're working on it. But yes, today the Right Honorable former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, of course, when they were receiving the BBI report, which will be made public, I think, on Monday, as President Uhuru Kenyatta requested. Of course, he said, if you really want to empower young people in this country, then how about you give them your helicopter and not wheelbarrows? And I think that was addressed to the Deputy President, William Ruto, there earlier. So they're working on bringing us that. They're working on bringing us that. All right. So as we wait for that to be ready, Doctor, they're preparing that. So maybe we just turn to the other stories that are trending in Africa this afternoon. Even as we wait, I think tomorrow we shall look at, in our morning show, we shall look at that story of the unveiling or President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga receiving the second BBI report there. I think we shall talk about it in depth in our morning show. President Uhuru Kenyatta mentioned a lot of things that, of course, he's saying he's concerned about the unity in this country, and that is the reason why him and Raila Odinga, yes, came together.
Yeah, don't worry. I have all the things that were mentioned.
Yes.
So we don't need to wait tomorrow. Tomorrow might not come. But let's just say point one of the, in a nutshell, this BBI is a healing process. For those who want to do their campaigns, first to solve national equation. I'm not going to go in details, as Miriam said rightly. We shall wait until the details until tomorrow morning. But just empower the youth that the way they should be empowered. The 21st century and 22nd century does not recommend for youth to have a wheelbarrow. Yeah, wheelbarrows are very important. They are essential. But what are they? What can they do? What much can they push the younger generation that needs even innovations? We saw a lot of younger generations making innovations and they were awarded yesterday. That is the type of digital situation we want. A wheelbarrow does work. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Deputy President. But how far does a wheelbarrow go? How much does it go to alleviate the difficulties of an ordinary youth? How many youths will be carrying wheelbarrows? We are producing youths who are getting PhDs, master's degrees. How long can we continue to have a master's degree youth?
And also, President, of course, Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday addressed that issue there, and even today, and he said what the government has in plan is to empower the youth of this country with skills, and of course, he lauded the innovation. The lengths that the country has gone to support the innovation of young people in this country, because that is something that is sustainable in the long run. So he's also focused on that, and I think that was a subtle rebuttal to the empowerment activities that the Deputy President has been having, and of course issuing the wheelbarrow is just one of them, among other things he's been doing.
Here, Miriam, we shall interrupt our broadcast, and we want the general manager of Kempiski to greet the people and tell them that
everybody.
Yeah, come.
No, okay. Good morning, everybody. Wish you a very good day.
It's not morning.
Good afternoon. A good day.
Yes, go speak to the world.
You are
and tell them how your hotel is working.
We are all working very well. All is in a full speed, and hopefully we will. We are confident in the recovery as fast as possible.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you have, Miriam, do you have any questions
No.
for the general manager? Yeah, you should have questions on tourism. Can he tell us how many tourists? Is the hotel 10%? Our television is a community television. We want people to come as many as possible to change the economy of Kenya. What is your position?
The news this week, we are running at 20% of occupancy. It's good news. And the beverage department is performing very well. International arrival are picking up. We are seeing a building up the pipeline for the next 3-4 months. So it's a good sign. Now it's very important to how the internationally how the various countries will manage the lockdown. But this, of course, will impact in the consumer sentiment and the willingness to travel. We are monitoring closely the situation.
Thank you very much. Viewers, wherever you are in the world, in London, in Washington, in New York, the travel come. The international travel is picking up. This is one of the big hotels in town in Nairobi, in the CBD, where a lot of activities are taking place at the moment. The percentage has gone up to about 20-25. People are coming, people are checking in. But wear your masks, keep a distance, wash your hands. The discipline in this hotel is fantastic. Thank you very much, General Manager. Let's continue with our broadcasting to the world. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Doc. I was concerned for you there, because his mask is not worn properly and you don't have one, but I think it's okay. They work in a hotel, they're tested every day there. All right. So, yeah, it's a good thing to know that, the local economy is picking up. And as the general manager there from that hotel said, they've started receiving guests. So I think that is a good thing. And that means the economy has started slowly to pick up. And so we should encourage even for the local Kenyans, it's okay to go out there and eat in this local establishment so that we're able to support our local economy. But as you go there, make sure you're safe, you wear your mask, you keep your distance, and you wash your hands properly. Very well.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is part of what we are supposed to do. We want to encourage those outside in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Tripoli, in Libya, in London. Come up and visit Kenya. Thank you very much. Let's go to as we talk about visiting Kenya, Miriam, Nigeria is burning.
Yes, Nigeria is burning, and this protest started just slowly, and they've gained momentum 2 weeks later. And right now, a number of people taking part in a protest against police brutality have reportedly been shot, dead or wounded in Nigeria's the biggest city in Lagos. Witnesses says up to 12 people were killed and others wounded when soldiers opened fire. Amnesty International said it had credible reports of deaths. The army dismissed the reports as fake news, and President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed for understanding and calm. Now, protest over a now disbanded police unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, also known as Sars, have been continuing for 2 weeks, and the protesters are using the social media hashtag #EndSARS to rally crowds. That goes to show you the power of social media, and also when people have just had enough.
First of all, Miriam, I have been saying for the last 4 years, part of the problem of Africa is the shrinkage of constitutionalism. We have shrunk our constitution so badly. Nigeria would have not reached this status if they had accepted to a referendum. Either they want some people to be where they are, or they want to rearrange Nigeria. This morning, Kenya issued a document, a blueprint, to rearrange Kenya. Actually, what President Uhuru Kenyatta said today was the rearrangement of Kenya. Don't beat about the bush and tell me it is BBI. What is rearranging Kenya? We are rearranging Kenya to avoid what Nigeria is going through now. For those who don't want to see this, sorry, it's your problem. But for me, I see the vision of President Uhuru Kenyatta as visionary, as it is. He's rearranging Kenya to avoid a crisis in the future. The crisis of Nigeria was coming. We saw it 4 years ago. Buhari promised us that he will clear the Boko Haram. He failed. Buhari promised us that he will give a referendum. He failed. The people of the Southeast have just asked for a referendum. You can postpone the referendum. The matter of the Biafran people is equivalent to the matter of the 2/3 gender rule in the Kenyan constitution. Look at the way President Uhuru has tackled that this morning. It is part of the BBI that will look into the matter. Do people keep the 2/3 agenda rule, or they put it all wholesomely in the government institutions? Nigeria failed. The bloodshed has arrived. We pray for them that they change, they sit down. But how do you sit down with people who are not ready to sit down? The government has refused. It has been killing people in the Southeast. The whole country of Southeast is bleeding. It takes you almost 200 days to reach for Christmas. No infrastructure, no development, no educational facilities, no hospitals, no housing. Everything in Southeast Nigeria is broken down, despite the fact that the people of Nigeria produce oil, which comes from those areas of Onitsha, Enugu, Port Harcourt, those areas of Southeast, the Delta region. Already we have problems in the Delta region. Where are we heading as Africa? Then on top of that, We talked about elections, bungled elections. Buhari bungled the elections. Buhari chose even a chief justice whose certificates were eaten by termites. Have you ever heard of such a thing in your life? The whole chief justice of a country coming up to say, no, my certificates were eaten by termites. So if termites have eaten certificates, then it have eaten your brain. You don't have any brain to make ruling of a Supreme Court. We have turned Nigeria into a battlefield. We have called for this. It has come. It is here. So many people have made telephone calls to me to say we should say it in Kenya that President Uhuru Kenyatta, as a member of the United Nations Security Council, should start moving because part of the difficulties of Sub-Saharan Africa.
Mm-hmm. All right, we seem to have had a problem there with the signal of Dr. Matanga.
Under his mandate. But thank you very much, Miriam. That is what I can say.
All right, very well. And I see Professor has joined us. Professor, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Miriam and Dr. Mazanga and our viewers.
All right, so we are looking at the latest, events in Nigeria. There are protests that have been going on now for 2 weeks. And, of course, reacting to Tuesday's shooting in the wealthy Lekki suburb, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called on Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari and the army to stop killing young protesters. And the U.S. former Vice President Joe Biden who is standing against President Donald Trump in the next month's election, urged Nigerian authorities to cease the violent crackdown on the protesters. And so far, there has been an indefinite 24-hour curfew that has been imposed on Lagos and other regions. Of course, the protesters have not adhered to that curfew. But this is a matter that started slowly. People have heard enough, and I think people keep saying and tweeting and you don't hear. So they're forced to go out in the streets, and when they go out in the streets, you still go ahead and kill some of them, Professor. I mean, where is Nigeria right now?
Miriam, this is a very, very sad day for the continent of Africa and the people of Nigeria. When people protest, they are passing a message to you. And when they are passing a message to you, Miriam, you engage. You know, they are not busybodies you can be able to do. Engage them, call people around the table and you can be able to agree. You have heard what Dr. Masanga said. The problem you can postpone, yes. But at some point it has to be, you have to face it and address it. So Buhari, his time in office has been a disaster for the people of Nigeria and the continent of Africa. He gave some promises, empty promises on what he will do when he becomes the president for Nigeria. See what he has done. So basically, what we are trying to say is that, Miriam, any government which kills its people who are coming out to protest or question something, Miriam, you engage. And Miriam, let me just have to say that the world cannot sit down. You know what Joe Biden and Clinton are trying to say? They are giving him a bright message and trying to tell him, engage with your people. And Miriam, when you see multitudes and multitudes of the people coming to the streets, they are passing a very serious message, Miriam. And from where I sit and I know how conflict starts, there's a point where it will reach, Miriam, and you can't even kill people even if you are the police. And very soon, as Dr. Masang was trying to say in the morning, I'm seeing that Nigeria going back to the military rule. And that will be a very sad thing in this continent for Africa in this point in time. So, or my take, engage people, talk to people, have a discussion, have an engagement. They have everything it takes to build their country. Nobody will come from outside. I know some part before 2 2 years on election, Buhari, he was a sick man. You know that one for almost 1 year.
He's still not okay.
He did not work. And if he was
okay.
the kind of man who loves the people of Nigeria, he could have not even represented himself for an office. It has happened, but the international community, the friends of Nigeria, we are asking Buhari to engage people. And as Dr. Masanga has rightly put it, this one, at the end of the day, it has to be replaced before the United Nations Security Council. So Kenya being a member of the Security Council, I hope that our president should engage and try to find out. You see, we as a country, you see the kind of challenges we are being faced with. You see how the president is handling. He reached the prime minister, which we were heading towards a serious conflict, and now they are talking and they are calling each other brother. That is the spirit for the people of Africa, Miriam.
Right, and of course the governor of Lagos State came out and said when he was visiting protesters in the hospital who had been shot, he came out and said that these forces were beyond our direct control. He's saying there's nothing, as the governor of this state, there is nothing I can do, my hands are tied, I don't even know who these people are, I don't even understand, so they're beyond my direct control as the governor of that state. What does that say? If the person who's supposed to be giving you the answers is not even aware, is more confused than you were there, what does that say about the governance structure there in Nigeria, Doctor?
Of course, the conflict is sponsored from outside. The governor is very right. You cannot know, you cannot ascertain who is the one shooting. But the basic line is, it is the militia that was created by Buhari. Buhari created a militia. Buhari put up a militia. Buhari bought daggers. There were daggers being bought 2 months, 3 months ago. Daggers were being bought. Where were these daggers going? Daggers were being given to people, 100,000, 200,000 daggers. That to go and do what? When the people, some section of Nigerians go to Abuja, they were told to go home. Where is their home? Nigeria is their home. So if you tell a Nigerian to go home, you tell a Kenyan when he's in Mandela to go home, where is his home? Where is his home? Let's talk the truth about this. The president failed to fight Boko Haram. He failed to call upon the AU, the EU, the United Nations to help him to wipe out Boko Haram. He allowed them to kill people. They are killing Christians in the north. They have wiped up all Christian homes. Where are we heading? We cannot keep quiet and mourn every day about Nigeria. Nigeria is a sick child of Africa. Nigeria is sick like South Sudan. South Sudan in this region is sick. It produces only patients in intensive care unit waiting to go. So time has come for Buhari to come out and tell the world, is he worth remaining in power? Because it looks like the forces that are determined are not holding. If the governor says he doesn't know who is shooting, then how shall we outsiders know who is shooting? There is a tragedy for Nigerians, tragedy for the people of Biafra. The people who are suffering most are the people of southeastern Nigeria, in Onitsha, in Onugu, Enugu, the states of Edu. All these states are suffering. This conflict has been there for a long time. All what Buhari did was to come and revisit it. It was temporarily suspended in 1967. Signed an agreement between Ojukwu and Yakubu Gowon. But now Buhari came to power. He has been enhancing that womb. He resurrected the entire system of punishing the Igbo people, of punishing the people of Southeast. And indeed, he has shown the true colors of punishment. He has given people punishment. He has actually killed very many. I cannot show you the type of videos that I have. The videos that we have of younger men being tied behind and on military vehicles, actually driven around town until their bodies peel off. That is the agony of Nigeria. And we have a stupid AU. Somebody calling himself AU. What fuck it? What do we have here? Forget it. The AU was good when Nkrumah was around. When Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, Haile Obote, Sekuture. The AU is dead with a judge man, very just stupid, tall in height, zero in brain. He has destroyed our organization. He has sold it to the French. They paid him money. He gets a salary double. You know that song called Double? Where is the AU now?
Then I see you.
No statement. Go and look at the website of AU. They have not issued even half a statement condemning the killings in Nigeria. And then you call it across down in Cameroon. What do we have? In Amazonia, what do we have? We have people being killed. They have been at war for 4 years. No resolution has ever even reached the draft stage, even the committee stage, even the lobby stage, even the doorstep stage. Doorstep. Kuingiza envelope in AU. Useless man.
Right, Professor. So this is not the first time that these protests have happened. They have happened a couple of times before in the past years there, but they did not get to the magnitude that they have gotten right now. And it has been 2 weeks running battles there. Now we see a curfew that has been put there, 24-hour indefinite curfew that the people of Lagos still is not adhering to. So what lessons perhaps can we draw from what is happening right now in Nigeria for the rest of us in the continent?
Miriam, you can't govern the country through the curfew. You cannot strangle the people's will. When people say that when people want something, they want it. No matter what kind of army you may want to put across. So Miriam, when you see people protesting 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, Miriam, these people are determined, and this is a conflict. Which has been building, Miriam. When you are pouring water, you cover the reed and you keep on putting more fire. What will it? It will open that reed. So Miriam, the big lesson we can learn from Nigeria here is that you cannot oppress people. And you know my position, and I'm restating when it comes to self-determination. The people of Southeast, the Biafra people, the Hippo must be given, Miriam. Is it too much to give people an opportunity to decide whether they want to be part of Nigeria or to go their way? You see, Miriam, when you want to handle a conflict, you handle it into conclusion. They tried to do it in 1967. What is happening 53 years down the line? It means it was not handled. So Miriam, what we are trying to and I agree 100% with Dr. Mastanga that the African Union is dead. I've said here before. It doesn't have the face, the behind, the sides of the world. It is not there. An organization which was started to ensure that there is peace and security in the continent of Africa. So, Miriam, the big lesson here is that the Africa, we need to re-examine ourselves. We need not to be the laughing stock of the world. I did tell you that in the morning that when you go to the history of the European Union, of the European people, they killed each other, they murdered each other. And what you are trying to do in the continent of Africa is what Europe did 200 years ago. So, Miriam, when will we be where we are supposed to be today? So the best way forward, Miriam, for the people of Africa is for us to engage, is for us to respect human rights, is for us to embrace democracy, is for us to have credible elections, Miriam. What do you gain, Miriam, that you are a president, you are a leader of a country, presiding over the governance of a country, the presidents of a country, when people are killing each other? The seeds of discontents is being planted in Nigeria and the rest of the continent. When will we, Miriam, come forward to address issues to do with poverty, to do with the ignorance, disease? When will we be facing the challenges of climate change, which is becoming a problem of the people of Africa? When are we going to find time to address COVID-19 if we cannot be able to agree? So, Miriam, the way forward for the people of Africa, I always say that there's work to be done. Jesus said that the harvest is plenty, but the harvesters, the reapers, are few. There is work to be done at the continent of Africa. And we cannot be at punchline of Africa trying to be the only voice doing this one. More voices to come forward, Miriam, and we start having a discussion and a conversation on the kind of Africa that we want. And I've always said, Miriam, the rest of the other countries, they should hear this. The problems facing the continent of Africa, the respective countries of Africa, Nigeria, it is coming from outside. They should know no outsider will come to solve the problems of the people of Africa. You know very well Nigeria is the largest producing oil in the continent of Africa, and yet very poor. So the external forces will not want for peace in Nigeria, on the continent of Africa. They need resources. So it is high time, Miriam, for us to come forward. How many people of Africa do we want to sacrifice and kill for the sake of us moving forward? It is totally unacceptable. Buhari should step. Miriam, the fact if you see 10 million people marching in the streets, then you have got the guards to be in office, to be in power. You want to massacre those people, you want to use the military, you want to bring the curfew. When are people going to build their country? If you are going to rule the country through the curfew. And the African military people, the army in the continent of Africa, they are there to protect the citizens of their country, respective countries, and not the leaders. The moment the army comes to discover that they are there to protect the people and not the president, the ruling class, the thieves we were talking about in the morning, that's when Africa will go forward.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, very well. And we know that, yes, the former president of Nigeria, Bensouda, has not had very kind words in the recent past against President Buhari, and he's been criticizing especially the level of security in that country. So I don't know what he's thinking about right now, what he's saying right now. But we've seen former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton coming out and condemning and calling out Buhari and saying your army should stop killing these young protesters. And also Joe Biden, the Democratic presidential candidate there in the U.S., came out and said, hey, this violent crackdown needs to stop. That means it has attracted the international attention there. For a moment there, let's pause and think, if this was Zimbabwe, the kind of sanctions, what is, because they're just saying, but nothing is being done. The double speak. Yes. Doctor, what do you say to that?
First of all, let me make it very clear that Clinton should be the last person to talk about Africa. Because what she did against Africa is still very fresh in the minds of the people of Africa. Clinton helped to destroy Libya. I've never forgiven her, and that is why I have a hatred for anybody in the Democratic Party to win an election in the US. I am not very happy. Well, Trump can lose, but I just pray Trump wins an election. I have made my plan clear, and I will also shake hands and we move on. But Trump has changed the policy on Africa. Clinton is shouting because she got involved in Libya and burnt her fingers. She ordered the killing of Muammar Gaddafi. The United States of America lost a diplomat in Libya. Clinton is the same person while in administration. Are they not the ones that welcomed Mr. Buhari? They gave him arms. The Biafran people were pleading to Clinton as the Secretary of State to take a stand and recognize the people of Biafra. Clinton did not. There is nothing that a woman, stupid woman, can tell me. She can go and hang. She killed Muammar Gaddafi. There was no insurgency in the Sahel region. Muammar Gaddafi had cleared all these terrorists and he had put them under check. Now see what is going on. Mali is a government of army. All these states, you see Ivory Coast, you see Ouattara changing the constitution. You even allowed a man who is not from Burkina Faso to rule Ivory Coast. Now the chicken has come home to roost. He destroys his own prime minister. Then he says now he's gone. There was nobody I trust. I have to change the constitution and I come myself. No. Is this the Africa that you want? Is this the Africa that you want? These are some of the challenges that we have to face as Africans. And believe me or not, this must happen, and it must happen sooner than later. Thank you.
All right, very well. And of course, the latest in regards to the elections that happened there in Guinea on Sunday. Of course, the opposition in Guinea has denounced what it called a large-scale fraud aimed at preventing it from winning Sunday's presidential election. Now, the campaign manager for the main opposition challenger, Selou Dalien Diallo, said the administration of President Alpha Conde was doing everything possible to modify the results in his favor. At least three people have died since Mr. Diallo claimed victory. Final official results have not yet been released. And in a very interesting twist there, African Union monitors say the vote was conducted absolutely excellent and properly.
You see, that's where we go wrong. The African Union says the vote was conducted very peacefully and it was free and fair. Tomorrow, violence erupts. The same African Union, stupid as they are, malcontents of insanity. You know, me, I have no good words, man. I have no good words. Don't tell me Africa. What is African Union? African Union died a long time ago. You are still thinking there is African Union? Surely? Why don't you, even when you reach that reading, say AU or EU? African Union died a long time ago.
So we call it EU.
There's no African Union.
Yeah, but they said the monitors
call it EU
gatekeepers. All right, but so the EU gatekeepers said that the elections are conducted properly, and we've seen the opposition came out and claimed victory. So since that claim, there has been some violence, and 3 people have since lost their lives. Professor.
Yes, there is violence right now as we speak. The breaking news coming from there is died violence. Why don't you show that picture from the studio? Some people have died. There is no election. And I told you this morning, And you people were saying elections create democracy. Now, Professor, answer me. Where is the democracy there?
Violation.
Will the Guinea have a democracy because they have held an election? This is the election for eating money. Some of these countries cannot organize even a toilet. Like Guinea cannot organize a toilet. So they call for election in order to grab the dollars. So that the donor countries bring in money for both opposition and sincerely, that is it. There's no election. I don't know why you call it an election. Election of what? For who? And for where? And how? Which election? What you mean, man? Election. There's no election. Africa is not yet ready for elections.
It's ready for what, Dr. Masanga? You know, Dr. Masanga, when we say,
Africa
give recommendation to the people of Africa that we are stopping this, we go for dictatorship, we go for monarchy.
Because we're still having elections whether we are ready or not. So we can't abandon that. So what is the solution?
It is this kind of leaders, the African Union, which is dead, which does not ensure that we follow the rules.
If you ask any Ugandan whether they like the monarchy and the President Museveni, they will say they like the monarchy.
Let us go that way.
Now, but you are the one saying that.
Have you heard the British people complaining about the Queen? Have you heard the British people complain about the Queen? And he has been there. So let us, Africa, in principle, we agree, let us go the monarchy way. And you will serve the people of Africa.
Now you have come on my side.
But we also have Parliament and the Prime Minister there and the members of Parliament we still have elections in the UK. We do.
We can also do the president. You see the system that President Uhuru Kenyatta has reinvented. The system that he has created is the system that you should create in this country. If we follow and pass it through BBI, believe me or not, one, you will have a president who will select his own friend as a vice president. Don't elect an animal. If you are a hyena, then you elect a sheep.
Doctor, we don't, or maybe a situation
like a hyena, yes, a sheep electing a hyena.
Doctor,
or a hyena, one of them will eat the other.
Or the situation.
So the constitution that the Kenyans are trying to struggle to bring, the constitution the Kenyans are trying to struggle to bring, is a constitution that will make Kenyans a president of Kenya to select his own man whom he respects to work with, but not to bring a hyena who eats all the animals except the lion. Now you have seen in Kenya what you have brought here. You brought a man who ate everything.
They came together.
I don't know what Wangari wants to oppose me.
They came together, but we don't want a situation. We don't want a situation like.
I want to say, Miriam, this.
Yes.
Miriam, I want to say this. Kenya, we have entered uncharted waters and done things which has never been done in history. Even
we are shocked.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, and I want to be the point of Dr. Masanga. I'm saying that the handshake, where has it happened? How did these people come to agree to call themselves brothers and and to identify the problem facing Kenya? And they condensed them. They have come with a committee which has gone round and corrected the views. And now we are going to come up with a law. We are going to amend the constitution, whereby we are going to say that every voice matters. Let us not leave anyone behind. So if we are going to be very successful in this, Dr. Masanga, then the continent of Africa will follow suit by saying that it is very important to say that the country is bigger than all of us. If I echo the words of President Uhuru, he did say that he is the fourth president. The 50th president will come, the 6th and the 7th, until the 100th. But Kenya will always remain one. The continent of Africa will always remain one. The continent of Africa will always be there. The Buharis and the Congress will always go away, but their respective countries will remain. So, Dr. Masanga, I'm happy that the redemption strategy we have been talking about, it is working in Kenya. And we recommend that in the continent of Africa, the respective countries, Miriam, they should come with the redemption strategy. They should come with tactics and strategies to take their country forward. We have been saying that the African president and African leaders, do they really have an agenda or a focus for their country? Do they know where they want to take their country? What I want to say that in any country, don't ignore the voices of the people. Hear them, listen to them. They have got something to offer for their country. So on that one, Dr. Masanga, I do agree with you that the handshake is an example we have been using, recommending to other people when you find yourself in antagonizing each other, try the handshake. Come with the redemption strategy. Let us come with laws which takes Africa forward. I know, and you know, Dr. Masanga, the constitutions of various governments in Africa is one thing. This winner take it all, Dr. Masanga, must be handled, must be tackled, we must be confronted.
All right, thank you so much. And one of our viewers here has Onyango Ochieng Jr. Thank you so much for watching us and writing to us this afternoon. And the rest of you keep writing. I'll read some of your comments. You're saying we can go for a hybrid improved gerontocracy where a group of wise old men choose brains who can lead. I'm looking at the happenings in Nigeria and it seems like protesters have set the House of Lagos governor on fire. Importantly, African leaders must stop responding to these protests with such high-handedness. There is a problem. Sars was a terrorist outfit. At least they executed their mandate with a terror-like zeal beyond the legal scope. On handshake, the best was between Mandela and de Klerk. The BBI document that I have read so far is a wonderful masterpiece of thought. All right, so we are waiting for the latest that was handed over to President Uhuru Kenyatta. So on Monday shall be made public. So Onyango, we shall be waiting for that. Thank you so much for writing to us. And also, I think Equatorial Guinea professor, you know, the president, Obiang, his son is the vice president. So we do not want such a situation again. So that's why even in getting...
Yeah, but if they have stability, what is wrong with that?
What?
If they have stability, yes, what's wrong with that?
They have stability.
Equatorial Guinea has stability.
Huh.
Have you ever seen a war in Equatorial Guinea?
The guy leads with an iron clutch, has been in power for 41 years. We can't even start the conversation.
You know what? The problem, let me tell you, the problem with my place. For example, there's nobody to take over who is able to keep Uganda intact. Ugandans, we like guns. We don't talk like you every time. For us, it tells you, I'm coming back. You just jump through the window if it is near. I want to tell you frankly, then you know. Jump through the window and run. If you are in Kampala. Otherwise, utapata. You quarrel with somebody in a bar, he said, okay, I'm coming. He will pick you up. He will smash you with. So, there is one thing that Museveni has done very efficiently. Neutralize that atmosphere. While he is in power, he has also eliminated everybody. Anybody who can come closer.
You mean kill?
That's how they do it, Miriam. You're asking how they do it. That's how they do it. Obiengo, Congo, whatever this stupid, serious bastard of Equatorial Guinea.
No, you're calling him a bastard. His name is...
He saw power was gripping out of his hands. He brought his own son.
Who had his properties
his son is in charge.
on corruption. He's been charged. Even in France, some of his fast cars there were seized in France. The Vice President Obiang, and he's been
Miriam,
vacationing in an island. Yes.
I want to say something. There is a time our late President Daniel Moi, he was coming and he reached the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And that time, you can remember, he used to address some people. And he could tell people that he can look around and he cannot see any presidential material. And the people will cry for him just like that, ministers, foolishly. President Moi has gotten out of power. Did we have President Mwai Kibaki as an excellent, good president? Haven't we had the Uhuru Kenyatta as a president? Tomorrow we'll have somebody else. Miriam, I had this to advise, to give my recommendation to the late president for Burundi, Nkurunziza. He was also trying to extend his term.
No, he was not trying. He did. He already did.
Once you have done your time in office,
go home.
Go out. But eventually, this word to say, Miriam, which are very beautiful, he said that in Burundi, there are men and women who God has placed in that country to take that country forward. It is a hypocrisy of the highest order to put your son or your wife a minister. See what happens in Marawi. Well, the fact that the people can keep quiet does not mean that all is well. The fact that you're asking what's something wrong, must you, Miriam, out of the entire population, that you need to put your son a deputy president to be secure, that if anything happens for you, then you can take over. Miriam, let us build institutions. Once you have been given an opportunity to serve. If it is 10 years, if it's 15 years or 14 years, whichever.
Professor Obiang has been there for 41 years, so he's not
serve with passion. Put your country together. That is what I recommend. But this idea that you are, Miriam, does it have any difference between these people who are engaging with the corruption? Some of the governors we are seeing, that you want to steal. You see the kind of mentality of the African people, that you have to put your wife, your son, to be safe in the seat? No, Miriam.
And no wonder Yaya Jammeh ran there when he ran from his country. He ran there from Gambia. Remember, after he was toppled, Yaya Jammeh is there. He sought refuge there in Equatorial Guinea. Of course, the president himself has been accused of corruption, and his son had his properties and cars, high-end cars, seized. And right now he's been vacationing in a private island somewhere there. Well, the people there, 76% of the population is under abject poverty. So all is not well there in Equatorial Guinea. But let's just move very quickly to Sudan. And former Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir and other suspects wanted by the International Criminal Court for alleged war crimes and genocide in Darfur must face justice without further delay, the court's chief prosecutor, currently on a visit to Khartoum, has said. No further delay, Dr. Bensouda has said.
I start or he starts?
You go ahead as we wait for him.
Yeah, let me just have to say, Miriam, no matter what, I'm one man who is reluctant to release an African band to go to be tried outside there. I know there are some courts. Even in the fact, the Sudanese courts, judicial, have been trying Bashir. So all the purported crimes they are trying to say that Bashir did, they can still be handled in Sudan. And let me tell you, Miriam, if you want to build your country, you emulate what Nelson Mandela did. He was in prison for 27 years. With all the killings in South Africa, he came and said, building a united country is more important. If Omar Bashir had committed some crimes, the Darfur crimes, let him be tried in Sudan or another African court. I have not a supporter, and I will be the last person to say that you should go and be tried there. I have never seen any justice coming from that court that I have faith in it. It is only there to humiliate African leaders. no matter that we may not agree, Miriam, an African is an African. Let us try to solve our issues around. And some of those generals who are turning against Bashir, time will come, because Bashir did not do it as an individual. They did it with some people. Some of the leaders in office, they don't do, they are there sycophants around. But I know crimes must be punished. Yes, let us punish those crimes in the continent of Africa.
And of course, the ICC has outstanding arrest warrants against al-Bashir and 3 other Sudanese suspects on charges of war crimes, genocide, and crimes against humanity. Al-Bashir has previously denied the charges. The conflict in Darfur in the west of Sudan escalated from 2003 when mainly non-Arab rebels took up arms against al-Bashir's government, triggering a campaign of repression by the army and mostly Arab armed groups. More than 300,000 people are estimated to have been killed and 2.5 million displaced, according to the United Nations. Now, the 76-year-old former president is in custody in Khartoum, Taf Kober prison, after being removed from power by the military in last year. Following months of protest against his rule, he was convicted last December for corruption and is now on trial in Khartoum for the 1989 coup that brought him to power. If convicted, al-Bashir and 27 other co-accused could face the death penalty. So now they're even revisiting how he came to power. So somebody like President Museveni should be worried. Should be worried wherever he is. When you look at such events, he will not leave power at all.
Miriam, when you mentioned the case of South Sudan, you mentioned of Sudan, you mentioned Dr. Matanga. It is there. Go and Google it. Matanga application will come. I did it, not anybody else. And I know what the case is. I am the only person who challenged the chief prosecutor. And I'm sure, and I'm telling you today, that the chief prosecutor is more worried whether I'm still alive or I'm dead. Because if I'm still alive, I'm going to oppose him. I want to request Bashir's relatives, if they are anywhere left, to get in touch with me. I have sent a message to General Duglo to be in touch with me. There's nobody, you can talk even 1 million times. You have done, there is no place. I am the only one in it. You know why? They stole my files and changed them, removed the evidence, Professor. I filed the evidence on how an NGO, an Israeli NGO, a Jewish NGO, fixed Bashir. The money was banked nowhere, not in than America. I was given these documents by the Americans themselves. Ocampo took $17 million. These men in Khartoum don't know what they are doing. The generals were part of the coup.
Yes.
They did not enter the army yesterday. I have told General Duglo, he's my friend. I knew him in 1994 when he was just a lieutenant colonel. I know him. I have told him, the moment you try to walk and laugh with ICC, you are the one going to be honest on the trial, because Bashir is aged. You are the youngest. They want to squeeze your blood. There is no case against Bashir. Not that Bashir, people did not die. People died. But Bashir never got a gun to go and kill. The people who were killing are in the power now.
But the backstop is who?
With them. They are also, if you are hand over Bashir, you are handing over yourself.
And they will not agree. But it appears, Doctor, it's the civilian side who is actually pushing for this. The military has been very careful.
The civilian will be overthrown. I don't know why they brought him in. Throw him out. I have told Diplo to get rid of this NGO civilian. This is an NGO prime minister of Khartoum. That case has no merit. You are only going to punish Bashir, keep him there like a babuko. The case was similar to babuko. I finished babuko. I finished Thomas Rubanga. I finished Uhuru Kenyatta. I finished that is Wilbur Roman. I finished everything. I put applications. The application of Bashir can be countered with the application of the money. The Jewish company that paid NGO in New York, that paid the money in the account of Luis Moreno Campos, PA, $17 million to indict Bashir is enough to dismiss the case. You don't need to talk much.
But doctor, there's a couple of things that are at stake here, because right now the Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok has really been trying
read that what is there. It is on record. Hallelujah. There is no other man in Africa who has ever tried this stupid. What is this woman?
But doctor, let's look at what is at stake right now. We've seen the Prime Minister there, Abdallah Hamdok, trying to create even ties with a country like Israel that never had severe ties with Sudan, and also really has been trying very hard to have Sudan removed from the list of countries that are supporting terrorism. Remember, it was put on that blacklist after Osama bin Laden was found to have found a safe haven in Sudan.
Can it not?
So those are factors. Those are factors that if Bashir is the price they have to pay, Professor, are those not factors that perhaps they're considering?
Miriam, I entirely agree 100% with Dr. Masanga.
Yes.
Trying to exonerate yourself and try to appear Mr. Nice, they will screw themselves. See the kind of money Miriam is trying to sign $335 million US
Trump
so that the country be removed from the list of the terrorists, and they are not.
And they don't even have that money to start with.
And they don't have that money. And Trump was saying that the current regime is doing something and is waiting for them to deposit that money. Miriam, you want to make the people of Africa poor? Do you really want to believe that the Sudan will be the sponsoring of the terrorists, and the world is watching, and America and the intelligence around the world was not there? Don't you even connect what Dr. Masanga is telling us? If it was an Israeli NGO which was paid money, which was paying money, and now the current prime minister, the one from the NGO side, is having those ties with Israel.
It's trying to
Are you a fool not to
diplomacy.
see the conspiracy? Miriam, I have said, and I'm the equal footing, overthrowing the government of Sudan 1989, Bashir did not do it alone. The killings of Darfur, Bashir did not do it alone. I was building a case. Yes, Bashir could have been a problem, yes. Let us spend more time focusing into the future rather than, do you know what that 3.5 billion Kenyan shillings can do to the people of Sudan? In terms, if even they invest in eradicating poverty. So this kind of shed so, Africa, you will remain an Africa. Whether you masquerade and pretend to be so good with this, the West, they will finish Bashir and they will come for you. And I think the kind of the activities they are trying to do is not taking Sudan or Africa forward. African problem, I have said here, and I will continue to say, will be solved by us. This African Union, we are supposed to strengthen our courts so that should anything violate or commit crimes can be charged in the African soil. The day the Americans or the British or anybody else will be tried in that ICC, is when I will. A while ago, and this is what Dr. Masanga has reminded us. Do you know how Hillary Clinton moved from one country from the other, and he had Muammar Gaddafi being killed? What did they find there? A stable country, you make it unstable, so that you continue getting their oil. So, Miriam, these African resources being fought, and I pray that African brothers, those who are in leadership, should open up and listen to what we are trying to say. Let them leave that old man alone. He might have made his own mistake. Let him just enjoy his time out of office.
Mm-hmm. And Doctor, you asked there for if Bashir has relatives. We don't even know if he has a wife or children or anything like that. It has been very private there. So, Doctor, end it for us.
First of all, Miriam, I would like to tell you frankly that it is absurd, very absurd for anybody, any man in Sudan who has any. I want to call upon the relatives of Bashir to contact me wherever they are. We shall put up a defense. I have the documents. I have the transfer documents. They stole they thought they had stolen it, but we have the hard disks of the bank hard disks. We obtained them and we kept them. So you can't rub them out. There was a transfer linking a name of Judge Fernandez. And the Fernandez was the personal assistant of Rui Moreno Campo. They were not selling a factory. They were not selling slaves across the Caribbean that they got all that money. Neither were they selling drugs. They were selling human beings and selling the cases of ICC. They got it, and when they got it, all of them resigned. The judge resigned because the case was catching her. The registrar of the court resigned, and then the man of the IOM. Didn't you see when I wrote my letter, the new IOM answered me on Kenya quickly because they say I'm a man of trouble. This thing of Bashir, look at that statement that is there. It's real, Miriam. I went to court and faced them and said, investigate. A banker transferred $17 million in the United States of America. It is there. It's not a lie. So there is no way you can hand over an African head of state when I'm still alive. We shall cause another military coup there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that is how.
And I want to take this opportunity. You see that today we have not brought in. I want us to bring in that Africa by Gubitas. Can you bring in finally, as we say bye-bye, leave the Gubitas Africa, the Grafters TV. Mm-hmm. Can you leave it now, bring it on? I make one comment and we say bye-bye, we go home. I know it is coming to rain and you need to enter your limousine and go.
All right then. So we shall leave that to play. Thank you so much, our viewers, for watching. This has been Unfiltered, and we've been paying a special spotlight to stories that are trending currently in Africa. And we started with Nigeria, with those protests, and that is something that we shall keep you up to date. Even tomorrow, we shall bring you the latest on that. And also we looked at Guinea update. We're waiting still for the results, and still now we can hear we even have people that have already died there due to some protest after the opposition, I think, said they had won the elections, but the official results have not been broadcasted yet. And we were looking at the Bensouda, the ICC going for Omar al-Bashir. Professor, thank you so much for being part of the show this afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. You have a lecture at 4:30.
Yes.
God bless you. I'll talk to you later, sir, in the evening.
Thank you.
Tonight, I am resting. I don't have any show.
Tumefanya kazi poa.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The BBI is out. I am very happy and I'm very convinced
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor.
That the people of Kenya will pass it, and it becomes let's rearrange Kenya instead of dismantling it. Thank you.
All right. So let the video play. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Today we'll talk about Africa, once seen by Europe as the antithesis of civilization, the heart of darkness, in the words of a certain Joseph Conrad. Centuries later, Africa remains ignored. It makes news for its conflicts, poverty, and exoticism. For the longest time, the world saw it as a lost cause. Then one country saw opportunity, and thus began a new race for Africa, not very different from the scramble of the 19th century when colonial Britain and France wanted raw materials, slaves, and geopolitical influence. Now, in the 21st century, global powers are in more or less the same race. China, the United States, India, the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, all of these countries are in the race for Africa. And one country is emerging as the clear winner. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and this is Africa, a continent of 54 sovereign states, 17% of the world's population, 9.6% of the global oil output, 90% of the world's platinum supply, 90% of the world's cobalt supply, half of the world's gold supply, 2/3 of the world's manganese, 35% of the world's uranium, 75% of the world's coltan, and 54 votes in the United Nations General Assembly. This is what makes Africa so attractive and makes the continent a battleground for global powers. There are numerous fronts: investment and infrastructure, military power, diplomacy, soft power, trade, geopolitics. Every country has its own interest in Africa. In 2016, Israel began its scramble for the continent. Benjamin Netanyahu became the first Israeli Prime Minister to visit Africa in 50 years. What did he want? Votes in favor of Israel and against Palestine in the United Nations resolutions. Africa and Israel share similar histories, he said. Israel went on to sponsor solar, water and agricultural technologies. In the same year, 2016, Senegal co-sponsored a UN resolution. It condemned the construction of illegal Jewish settlements in the West Bank. What did Israel do? It cancelled the Mashav drip irrigation project. And this is just one example. Here's another one. The European Union has pledged more than $54 billion in sustainable investment for Africa. What does the EU want? Access to the African market of 1.3 billion people. Brussels has negotiated free trade agreements with at least 40 African countries. But does this ensure a balanced two-way trade? It doesn't. And no country has a bigger interest in Africa than China. China is funding 1 in 5 infrastructure projects in Africa. It is building every third one. Africa has an infrastructure deficit, and China has a signed checkbook. Starting 2005, China has invested at least $2 trillion in Africa. It built 6,200 kilometers of railways, including the continent's longest railway line connecting Ethiopia and Djibouti. Beijing has also built the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa. What does China get in return? A lot. Geopolitical influence to start with. Beijing is selling its culture, its currency. In Guinea-Bissau, exit signs are written in Mandarin. China has established at least 50 Confucius Institutes across 33 countries. Several African countries use Chinese currency. China also gets a strategic overseas base. In 2017, China built its first overseas base at the Horn of Africa, Djibouti to be specific. Djibouti connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean via the Suez Canal. The base has the capacity to accommodate 10,000 troops. China also gets a market to dump its goods. China is Africa's largest trading partner. Chinese trade has increased 40-fold in the last 2 decades. At least 10,000 Chinese firms operate in Africa. This is according to a McKinsey study. Africa has resources and China has access. Did you know that 1/3 of China's investments in Africa are in the mining sector? And finally, it gets to debt trap Africa. But here's the thing, China is not the only country investing in this continent. It's not even the biggest. The United States is Africa's largest investor. It accounts for $54 billion of FDI stock. There are 600 American companies operating in South Africa alone. And this, even after the US president called Africa this. For the longest time, Africa was nothing but a war zone for Washington. It has over 7,000 troops deployed in the continent. They are spread across some 13 African countries, including Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Libya, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, South Sudan.